If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know that LEGO games are a big part of what I cover. Well, LEGO Star Wars in particular. But sadly, outside of my live streams, I haven't really covered any of the others. But that changes today. Or well, whatever day it was I recorded this intro. The one I'll be covering in this video is considered by many to be their favorite LEGO game, and that is Lego Batman The VideoGame. Released in April of 2009, this would be the third franchise TT Games will cover, and the first outside of the banner of LucasArts. This is also their first LEGO game to have its own original story not based on a movie. The creative teams and the developers at TT Games definitely had their work cut out for them this time, trying to write an original story for this game while also adding new mechanics and features to the game so it doesn't feel dull. But they definitely delivered, releasing what is arguably one of their greatest titles they've ever released, and is still beloved by many fans today, including myself. So this will definitely be a nostalgia trip for me too. When you first open the game, you're instantly greeted by Danny Elfman's Batman 1989 theme, and this will be a trend pretty much throughout the entire game, because the entire soundtrack comes from Batman 1989, which is my favorite Batman movie, so it gets a plus from me on that.
This town needs an enema.
And I would play it in this video, but sadly copyright's a thing and I like my monetization. So instead of DC and Warner Brothers taking all of my money from this video, I'm just going to suggest, if you haven't already, to watch Batman 1989, you definitely won't regret it. But besides its heavy influence from the Tim Burton films, it also takes influence from other parts of the Batman universe as well. And this game has a ton of different characters and villains from across the Batman franchise. Well, maybe not as much as the DS version of this game has, but we'll talk about that game in a different video. The plot of this game is, well, that Arkham had a major prison break and now everyone's out. But since GCPD is completely incompetent and can't catch your basic criminals, it is now up to Batman and Robin to recapture these criminals and put them back in Arkham. But instead of each villain trying to cause their own chaos, they've all teamed up into factions either under the Riddler, the Penguin, or the Joker, and all three factions have some sort of plan to gain control over Gotham City in some sort of way. The first story in this is the Riddler's Revenge. When you first start a story, you get a cutscene showing all the villains together in a room, going over what they're going to do to Gotham City. In this case, the Riddler and his accomplices are trying to rob the Gotham City gold reserves. And in this cutscene, you have the Riddler telling everybody what they're about to do and what their role in this is. The four other accomplices that the Riddler has working for him in this are Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Two-Face. And each of the 5 levels will consist of one of the villains that you have to hunt down, as seen from these really cool loading screens before the levels, giving you details about the villain that you're looking for. The first level of the game, You Can Bank on Batman, is actually a really good first level because it does a really good job at demonstrating all the new mechanics that this game has to offer. The first thing you notice right off the bat is that the melee combat is a huge improvement over the previous 2 titles. It's a lot more fluid and it just seems a lot more easier to use than the previous 2 games. You may also notice that whenever you fight a lot of enemies, you get this multiplier, and pretty much what this is just a temporary stud multiplier to reward you for beating up a bunch of enemies. I don't really find this too useful though, because it only lasts a couple seconds, and by the time you actually go to collect studs, it's already gone. So it can be kind of helpful, but I just wish it would last a little bit longer. Another thing you're introduced to in this level is the takedown ability. This gives you the ability to grab a character and pretty much just do a takedown. Now with Batman or Robin, you can grab an enemy and walk around with them, and then eventually do a takedown, but with other characters, there are other special takedowns that they have. And with some characters, it's not even a takedown, it's just a stun. Or in the case of Bane, he brutally snaps somebody in half. The other things that this level shows off are the reworked grapple mechanics, the tight ropes, and the new specialized suits. There's 8 different suits in total, 4 for Batman and 4 for Robin, and each one will possess a special ability that will help you progress through a level. Batman has the demolition suit, which will grant you the ability to place bombs near silver Lego objects and destroy them. He also has the glide suit that'll let you glide across long openings that don't either have a bridge or a tightrope. Batman also has the sonic suit, which gives him the ability to break glass objects with the sonic gun. And the last suit for Batman, and probably the most underused suit in the entire game, is Batman's heat protection suit. This suit allows Batman to touch glowing Lego objects, and just so happens to be my favorite looking suit in this game, which is why I'm disappointed that we don't get to see this suit very much. But we'll talk about that later. Starting off with Robin, we have the technology suit. This suit allows Robin to control remote controlled vehicles in certain levels by using these green control panels in certain maps. Next up, we have Robin's magnetic suit. This suit allows Robin to climb up these magnetic surfaces where there's no grapple point or some sort of ladder. Robin also has a collection suit. You use this suit to go around and collect these little Lego pieces scattered around the map, and take them over to one of these dispensers. Once you dispense 25 pieces into one of these dispensers, it builds some sort of object that helps you progress through the level. And the last suit in this game is Robin's water suit, which in reality should be called a dive suit because it actually kind of looks like a dive suit. But pretty much what this suit does is that it just lets you dive underwater. It's another one of those criminally underused suits in this game, and it's really only used in 2 of the Penguin levels. A pretty cool thing about these suits is that whenever you unlock Batgirl and Nightwing, they're also capable of using these suits, so I think that's a neat little touch. And before I forget to talk about it, I might as well mention the Batarangs. It definitely wouldn't be a Batman game of any sort without them, and I think TT Games did a really good job at implementing them in this game. Pretty much all you have to do is hold down the attack button and move the little cursor around the screen, automatically selecting objects and enemies for the Batarang to hit. Alright, so future me here. Yeah, I sound different because yeah, I do have a new mic, because 8 months has passed since I recorded the beginning part of this video. I originally planned on talking about every single level in this game, and this would have been where it started, but I quickly realized that I could not do that.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
So instead, I'm just going to kind of summarize story mode and just move on with this video. Alright, so story mode in this game is pretty similar to the previous 3 games. Actually 4 if you want to count the complete saga too. But as we talked about earlier in the video, the one thing that made this different is that this is an original story. The story is broken down into 3 different episodes based on the Riddler, the Penguin, and the Joker. And all 3 have 4 other accomplices working with them to help them carry out whatever they're doing. Each episode's broken into 5 different playable chapters, where you fight loads of henchmen, goons, and heck, even crocodiles. But what sets this game apart from the previous games is that each level usually ends off with some sort of boss battle. You remember those accomplices I was talking about? Well, 4 of the first 5 levels in each episode is based on one of those accomplices, with the final chapter being the face-off with the main villain. The boss battles range in quality and overall difficulty. Some are really good and some are really bad, while others are really hard and some are extremely easy. But overall, each level is pretty enjoyable, all except, well, the vehicle levels. Now, you guys know my history of hating on early LEGO games vehicle levels, but the ones in this game are infuriating. Just think of pretty much every level being the Hoth battle or the new gunship cavalry level, which that wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for this dumb mechanic here. You see, the tow cable mechanic in the early LEGO games is one of my least favorite video game mechanics of all time. Just everything about it is completely unpleasant to use. And in Lego Batman, the vehicle levels in this use it for pretty much everything, and it makes every part of the level more tedious than it needs to be. So that is my opinion on that. After you finish story mode, you probably think it's time to go ahead and hop over to free play. Well, not quite yet, because you see, you've only actually played half of the game. Well, in terms of the story at least. After you finish one of the episodes, you are brought to this part of the hub world. You have the Bat computer where you can buy different items and use cheat codes, and a suit swapper for both Batman and Robin. But the important part of this room for what we're talking about right now is this area here in the corner. If you pull this lever here, you are brought to the Arkham Asylum, where outside of the insanity that's going on in the hub world, you will find that there is another complete set of story mode missions. These levels flip the script and have you play through the viewpoint of the villains, and are essentially just prequels to all of the levels that you just played. But it's a lot of fun to play this because all of the villains have some sort of special ability, and most of them are way cooler than what you had with Batman and Robin. The Riddler has a mind control ability that you can use in certain areas of the game to literally hijack the mind of another character to either pull a lever or destroy something in an area you can't get to. You have Mr. Freeze that has a freeze gun that can turn literally any character into a block of ice, and also can freeze certain liquids to either make bridges or platforms so you can get across the gap. You may see objects in the world with these little orange handles, and these orange handles are for characters with super strength like Clayface, Bane, or Killer Croc. Sometimes those objects will either require you to pull them out of the way, or just be flung into oblivion. There are also characters that can double jump, which works about the same way that it does in the other LEGO games that it's in. Characters like the Penguin, Man-Bat, and Killer Moth can glide, meaning that you don't always have to use Batman's glide suit to glide over certain gaps. Certain characters also have an immunity to toxins, which, if you haven't noticed already, this game is full of toxic waste everywhere. I mean, it is in almost every single level, and I kind of find it hard to believe that Gotham City is this full of toxic waste, but I guess it's another way that the developers made sure you had to play these levels in free play. Speaking of free play, it works pretty much the same way that it does in other LEGO games. Once you finish the story mode level, you are able to replay it in free play with any character that you would like, and you will need to use them to get all of this game's collectibles. One of the most common collectibles in any LEGO game are the mini kits. There's 10 in each level that you have to find. Most are either hidden throughout the map or require you to do some sort of puzzle to collect, which in most cases either requires a different suit from Batman or Robin, or a certain type of character in free play. The mini kits go towards building these cool little statues in the Wayne Manor, and more importantly gets your percentage meter up. This game also has red power bricks, which like in LEGO Star Wars gives you a special extra that you can use later on. And once you get one, you can go to the Bat computer and buy the extra in there, or you can just cheat them in like I did. When playing this game, you may also notice at the top of the screen that there is a stud meter. This also is carried over from previous LEGO games and is called the True Hero meter in LEGO Batman. And pretty much what this is that you have to collect a certain amount of studs in a certain level to achieve the True Hero. In the villain levels though, this is named the Super Villain, and getting all of these superhero and supervillain stud totals will award you 2 bonus levels. The 2 bonus levels that you get is the Wayne Manor and Arkham Asylum, and you pretty much just go around destroying a bunch of stuff until you get up to 1,000,000 studs. It's kind of like the Lego City bonus level in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. There are also 25 hostages you have to rescue in this game, and they are hidden somewhere in each level. And pretty much what it is just a normal civilian character being held by one of the goons. Once you kill the goons holding the hostage, you have successfully saved the hostage. And for rescuing all 25 hostages, you unlock Hush. Now, if you don't know which levels you've completed this in, just go to the level select and hover over a level, and beside the selector, you will see a little Lego face. If it has a smiley face, then that means you've rescued the hostage. And if it's a frowny face, that means you need to go rescue them. I was almost done with this video whenever I remembered that, oh yeah, this game actually has a character creator, which I mean obviously is not new because LEGO Star Wars had one, but I'm kind of surprised that I just now remembered that this was even in the game. You find it here in the Arkham Asylum, and it's pretty much just like the character creator in the previous games. And it's really cool that they give us this, unlike certain new LEGO games. If indeed we do get LEGO Batman 4, hopefully they will add a character creator unlike the Skywalker Saga, the one game that would have had the coolest character creator out of any LEGO game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got here for LEGO Batman the video game. I know I didn't go into as much detail as I said I was going to, but this would have ended up being like a 40-minute to an hour long video, and it would have taken me like 10 years to complete this. So I decided just to go ahead and get this video out and go ahead and start working on some of the next projects. The next LEGO game I plan on making a video about is LEGO Star Wars The Video Game, which is probably the one I should have done in the first place, especially since this year is the 1-year anniversary, but I'm going to go ahead and get on that now. I also plan on making a Mario Kart 64 video, so definitely stay tuned for that. And for all the people on this channel that come here for the Windows content, don't worry, the Windows XP video will be coming out pretty soon. Also, the thumbnail design that you see in this video is a design that I'm probably going to go ahead and stick with, especially if it does pretty good. I've noticed with this channel, I've kind of had a hard time sticking with the thumbnail theme, and it probably makes it pretty hard to make my content recognizable on the YouTube algorithm. So from now on, whenever I make gaming retrospective content, I'm going to go ahead and stick with this thumbnail design, or at least try to. But with that little public service announcement out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, I want to say a very special thanks to my channel members on screen here. They are a massive help to the channel, and if you would like to become a channel member yourself, go ahead and hit that join button down below. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe like I said earlier, and I will see you guys in the next one.